Good morning.
Welcome.
And welcome to Morning Break, live from Marketplace Mall. Beautiful audience here this morning.
Sure is. Nice of you to come to see Don and me and company.
I think a very special guest that we'll introduce in a moment is probably the reason most of the people are here this morning.
I know it is the reason. How do you feel about reminiscing today?
We'll reminisce a little bit. We mentioned a moment ago some days that overlapped with Jessica Savitch at Ithaca College, so we'll talk about that, the early days of radio, and find out more about Jessica and the book she has written called Anchor Woman. We'll introduce her in just a moment. This is Golf Week.
That's right.
I was out there yesterday talking to some of the ladies for the LPGA at Locust Hill. Today is Pro-Am Day.
Right.
And tomorrow the tournament begins. Morning Break will be there for the entire hour tomorrow and Friday. So if you want an inside look at the LPGA and the Rochester International, join us then. I think it's going to be exciting just to talk to some of the people behind the scenes.
I think a lot of people are very interested in talking to Nancy Lopez. You know, she is a favorite here in Rochester at the Rochester International. And now that Nancy is with child, a lot of people want to see her and see how she's doing and how she's feeling and how she's going to do on the tournament.
I wondered this week how she'll do, not it being, 4 months pregnant?
4 months.
4 months will be a physical strain golf-wise, but the heat,
Weather.
It's going to be up to, 90 degrees today?
Yes.
We have a few people fanning themselves here in the air-conditioned mall. 90 degrees today, and I think I heard 94 or 95 degrees tomorrow, so summer is here.
That must be tough to work under.
I would think so. Speaking of sports, we want to remind people here at the mall, how many baseball fans do we have in our audience this morning? Do we have any Red Wings baseball fans?
Quite a few.
If the audience doesn't grow much larger in the next hour, probably all of you will be receiving free tickets. We have 50 tickets to give away to Silver Stadium, an upcoming Red Wings game. We'll do that at the end of the broadcast so that you'll have a chance to join us then.
All taken care of. I think we should proceed.
Okay. We introduced you now someone who is no stranger to Rochester. For those that go back a few years, may remember the days on WBBF when you listened to the Honeybee. You may have seen her in some commercials, some of which we will share this morning. For sure, you have seen her on NBC News as a correspondent and as the anchor woman on the weekend.
Of Don's and mine and yours, would you please welcome Jessica Savitch? Hey, Jessica, nice to see you. Real good.
We'll put you right over here for now. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
This is a little different setting than a newsroom, sitting in the middle of a shopping mall, isn't it?
It echoes, too.
Yes, it does.
You'll have a chance to sell your book right here in the mall. I know you've been at McCurdy's the past couple of days doing just that.
Yesterday, as a matter of fact. Hold the mic up higher. In NBC, they just clip them on, and we don't have to worry about Yes, I was at McCurdy's. This is an opportunity last night to speak at a dinner for the Y, and stopped by McCurdy's to sign the book. The proceeds of the book go to journalism students who lost alternative sources of funding, so the proceeds of the first printing. So I stopped by there.
Tell us a little bit about what you spoke about last night at the dinner, the awards dinner.
It was called In Pursuit of Excellence. And it isn't my own pursuit of excellence, but really it is looking at some of the people I have covered in the industry, people at the top of every field who usually do what they do and do it well because it makes them happy and not because of any secondary rewards that they get. So it was talking about their pursuits of excellence.
We're going to spend a good portion of time this morning talking about your book, talking about broadcast journalism
I
today.
understand we have some old tapes.
We want to reminisce a little bit first.
That's
I don't know
Jessica.
what people have dug up, but
listen, I know what we've dug up.
I don't know, and I don't know that I want to know.
Dug deep we have. I read this last night, and it was very, very encouraging to hear how you, like I said earlier, you blazed so many trails and you've come out on top, and it's just so encouraging for many women in the business. We followed your success, your rise. If any of you have the book, you know how hard Jessica has worked to attain the success she has. But you probably don't know how hard Don Alhart has worked.
But we do.
And from whence he came. And we have some photographs. I think, Jessica, you can share with us and comment on them.
Oh, sure.
For us.
Let me see.
Of Don Alhart's career.
Not of me.
I haven't seen these myself.
We are going to take you way back to college days at Ithaca College.
Way back.
I, of course, was in a younger age group than Don. I was a freshman and he was a senior.
This is me crawling on the floor. I don't know what. This was when we had an honorary fraternity that
Oh,
There's
that's
the weather.
Okay, that's WICB was the college station at Ithaca College, and that I don't know. That's
Now, this is audio. I think we can turn this up and listen.
Well,
We'll have a return to some of that winter weather that we had vacation from today with some mild temperatures. We'll be back with a surprise forecast later in News Scope. Tonight, former White House Counsel Colson. I got a squeak in the chair.
George, do you want to finish it up?
Well, very quickly.
Serious.
Very quickly, we went from Ithaca to earlier days at Channel 13.
Shortly thereafter, because I went from Ithaca College right to Channel 13. I've been here ever since.
WICB was the station at Ithaca College, and Don was anchoring the news as a child there.
But that really gave us an opportunity that a lot of people didn't have, because down in Ithaca, and still to this day, Ithaca being in a valley does not have the ability to have a local station. There are no local television stations, and you can't pick up the outside stations unless you're on the cable system.
On the cable, right.
So at Ithaca, we had a chance to be part of the cable system, which was in effect the local station.
That's right.
No,
well, they had to take us whether they wanted to or not.
Now, do you remember those days with Don? Tell us, Jessica.
I remember
what was he like?
one particular. Well, he was good then, really, honestly, seriously, and he anchored the news and he did election night coverage. And as a matter of fact, in the book I talk about the election night because Don was the anchor and I was the one who put the vote tallies up on the board. And Don did very well, and he would tell me what numbers to write on the board. I would write them, and I was so enthusiastic that I knocked the board over.
I have a picture here we found here. Now,
There we are.
This was in the day when you used props. Walter Cronkite always had a pipe, so we had a fake pipe that you had to use if you were in the anchor net. You never lit it up, you never used it, but Walter Cronkite.
Who's in the middle?
That we couldn't figure out who
We
it was.
don't know who the person is. We thought maybe it was Tony Bush who was producing that night, and that might be, but I don't necessarily think so. But that's the infamous board there.
There it
There's
is.
Don.
And that actually fell on you.
It actually did. I wrote the numbers, and it was not secured very well.
That was one of the hazards down there. I remember one night when I was doing the weather, the camera bumped into the whole flat and tipped over while I was doing the weather, and I held the board up with one hand, and you didn't know any better. You just kept going, I guess.
Tell him about the parade, too.
Oh, that's right, the big parade in
And
Ithaca.
Don also was famous for covering the parade in Ithaca. Now, how big do you think the parade in Ithaca was? But Don made it very interesting by describing in great detail the float that you were already seeing on the screen.
I wasn't at a radio show. I thought there was radio all the time. See,
No,
maybe
there was
I was in the
TV.
I was in the wrong booth. See, I
Was
thought
he
I
a
was doing
funny
the radio
man at
broadcast.
school?
Yes, yes.
Because I don't know if many of our viewers know this, Don Alhart is a very witty, funny man. And I know that, but I'm wondering if he was always like that.
Oh, yes, and irreverent. He was irreverent. Which, no, really, that's good, though. Seriously, that is very good. Because if you take it all too seriously, you're in trouble in this business. So he was irreverent even then and knowledable about the business.
Now, you're
Enough of me.
Wait. Yes,
No,
I'm going to
I'm
ask
not.
you now. What was Jessica like? Can you remember? What are your
Abrasive.
memories of her?
I was in reading through the book, and I remember our election night coverage, and I remember, although I get the feeling from the book that it was more of a chauvinist reaction when you weren't allowed on the radio station as a
No,
freshman. But I wasn't either. No, when I went to Ithaca, no freshman was allowed on the air. You had to be a sophomore before you could be on the radio station.
Well, they were letting freshmen on the air that year.
Okay.
That was the year they let some freshmen on.
That wasn't the reason why you weren't let in, though.
No, they just told me that the college facilities were used to train the guys, is what I was told. And because the men were going to get jobs in the business, and I was not. So they really had to save the facilities for the men.
For the men. And after all,
The person who told me that isn't there anymore, by the way.
You were
and Ithaca's changed a lot.
Sure.
I'm on the board of trustees there and teach once a year at Ithaca.
In fact, back then, women were only going to school to get husbands, so you didn't need a career.
No, you didn't. You got an MRS instead of a BA.
Did someone really say to you, though, broadcasting is not for broads?
Yes.
One of the professors.
Yes, and
there,
you
'cause I
know
read
who
that
it
in the
is,
book.
too, but while
We'll keep that a secret.
Now, while you were at Ithaca, you commuted to Rochester to...
Well, see, they wouldn't let me on the college station, so I had to get a job. So I got a job in Rochester at BBF.
But now, when did your modeling, not modeling,
That was
I'm
at the
sorry.
same time. I had to
Okay.
put myself through college.
And you did commercials, too,
I
in
did
Rochester.
commercials. I did the honeybee stuff and any other work that I could get. It was expensive to go to Ithaca, and I was there on scholarship. Didn't pay for everything.
Would you all like to see her stuff back then? Jessica Savitch,
No.
as we know her today, the NBC network anchor. Let's go back to those.
Okay, we're going to take a look now at some of those days, not only from Ithaca, but from Rochester as well. We'll take a look and describe some of that.
Oh, before we do that, I guess we're going to hear you
Okay, well, listen first of all.
when you were at BBF.
Like the feel of power under you, do you dare to take the big hurdle into the excitement of a Culver Dodge Polara convertible? And now's the time.
It sure is. And for just $26.89, you can put a bridle on a high, wide, and handsome Polara convertible, complete with heater, V8 engine defroster, and safety package.
Fall into the winner's circle. Come on along. The Culver Dodge Rebellion wants you.
That's so
Don't do
funny.
that.
That was the days in radio when they used to use a whole lot of echo. Remember that?
They had a
would
special machine just to do
right.
that,
And
to
so
add
your
that.
voice would reverb, and you'd hear it coming back, and it just, gee, what a wonderful voice I have, you know. And then you'd notice that mostly was bass and echo.
And I think you were paired up with Jack Slattery.
I think it was Jack Slattery.
Is that
Jack
Jack
Palvino, of course, was at BBF when you started there as the
Right,
honeybee
right.
and subjected yourself to doing remote broadcast.
It was that or wait tables in the cafeteria, Don, and I thought that this was a better deal.
We're going to look at some more of the visuals now that go back, and a lot of these are commercials because while going to school, as you mentioned, you were fortunate enough to work with Ann Rogers and Bill Schwing, a few others,
Bill
and Mike
Schwing, Mike
Furno,
Furno, right.
that were able to bring some commercials your way. I trust they never found the one with me in it.
No.
I think we burned
We
that.
looked hard, but we
We
couldn't find it.
hopefully burn that one, but we're going to take a look at some of the other ones now, and then we can talk about those as we see them.
At Empire Electric, we say, let there be for every mood, every room, every decor, and every age. For indoors, outdoors, home, office, industry, for everywhere you need light. It's a spectacular fashion show of lights now at Empire Electric, 360 Culver Road at University and 2672 Ridge Road in Greece.
Let Empire light
Any of this.
Something.
That's so. Your memory must be very selective because you know I don't remember these things.
Empire Electric.
Kissing
Do we have
a lamb.
any
Well,
more of the
yeah,
commercials?
listen, you know. Would you like to be thrown out of school for not paying the bills?
I wanted to see some more commercials. I don't know if we have one. I know we had one I was looking at the other day with the white boots. Remember the
Well, that I do remember. Okay, that I do remember. I remembered that there was a national Dodge girl by the name of Pamela Austin at that time, and Pamela Austin was the Dodge girl, and she did Perils of Pauline. All local markets, all over the country, all the Dodge dealers did that kind of thing. So you wore white go-go boots and some kind of dark clothes or something like that. And you did all these things like fall off horses and jump over things and be in perilous situations, and somehow that was going to sell Dodges. I don't know that it ever did.
What was the one I was reading in the book where you had to ride a horse? They were
Oh,
supposed to
that
jump
was
over?
here. That was in Henrietta, where this mall is located. That's right. And we had to ride horses. The dealer, the Dodge dealer, and I were both riding the horses. And the Dodge dealer jumped over a brand new Dodge. And the Dodge dealer made it over. The horse didn't. The horse's hoof hit the van and scared my horse, and we took off across fields.
Well, I recall in the book when you were the honeybee with the remote, and all of these young kids came up and rocked the van, and
That's right. We'd go to mall store openings, and they would rock the van back and forth, and also it was so hot in there that you had a choice. You could either put on the air conditioning, or else you could play the records, but you couldn't do both. Unfortunately, if you didn't put on the air conditioning some of the time, the records melted. So you'd play a record and you'd say, "Here's the number 5 song of the week," and it'd go right across. So it was a peril being in the B-mobile.
you paid your
I
dues.
thought it was tough at Frontline at PBS and NBC. No, I remember it was tougher then.
We also have, I think, some pictures that go back to the college days. I don't know if we can show those now. And
we're going to take a commercial break first.
We'll take a look at those in just a moment.
Okay.
That's right. And also, when we return, we're going to talk about a more serious discussion about your current roles at NBC and PBS and how you got there.
Okay.
Jessica Savitch. We'll have more with her right after this. Stay with us.
Stick it in your pocket, stick it in your pocket, stick it in your pocket.
Hi, I'm Del Vecchio. Are you looking for a good used car? I have a good selection of luxury cars, including the Monte Carlos, Imperials, Buicks, Bonnevilles, and the luxurious Oldsmobile 98. Or take your pick from one of these beautiful wagons. I also have a good assortment of economy and mid-size cars. So if you're looking for a good used car, any make or model, see me at Upstate Chrysler Plymouth. I'm Del Vecchio.
Ladies and gentlemen, come to the greatest tent sale in Marple Furniture's history, right here in Hilton, now through Saturday. We filled our tents with values. Save 30 to 70% on brand name furniture. All remnants, 50% off. Queen mattress sets, only $199. Upholstered chairs from $77. Over $1 million in inventory is reduced 30 to 70%. Shop the furniture sale of the summer, now through Saturday. Rain or shine at Marple Furniture in Hilton. Sale ends Saturday.
A pool is just a pool, but a Cords pool is a pool full of healthy fun. Cords Pool Lawn and Garden offers the latest in pool games, chemicals, and accessories. Cords has a professional staff that can help you answer your questions and keep your pool sparkling clean with a free computerized water analysis. When it's time to shock the pool, don't pull the kids out, just use OxyShock and let the family enjoy the pool. Come in and meet the Cords family and their staff. Then you'll know why Cords is the pool owner's best friend.
I find more to like at Big M Mid-State Market.
Shop this week and save on Joya spaghetti sauce, plain meat and mushroom, just 99 cents each. Natural Sun high pulp or low pulp orange juice, only 77 cents for the 12-ounce can. Dixie everyday white plates in the 100-count package, just 69 cents. And Kleenex facial tissue, the 200-count box, only 69 cents.
Big M gives you more to like.
At Big M Mid-State. At Big M Mid-State.
Gold Seal is recognized as one of the most dynamic wineries in New York State, and now they have the largest acreage of vinifera in the East. You can experience Gold Seal, its tradition and future now. Gold Seal has guided tours and tasting daily, free to the public. And you don't just sample fine wines for free like other wineries. You learn why certain wines are superior and why champagne is the most exotic of wines. All at the Gold Seal Winery Tour on Route 54A in Hammondsport, New York.
We're back, live from Marketplace Mall. Our conversation continues with Jessica Savitch. And in a moment, we'll get into a more serious discussion of her book. We want to reminisce just a little more about some of the days at Ithaca College and show you some pictures. And I look back at some of these pictures, and I remember the faces, but I can't always put a name to all of them.
No, I can't either. But I remember that was at Ithaca. I was a freshman then.
That's you. You can't
me
deny
with
it.
long hair. Yes, that's right. That was the 1960s with mini skirts and long straight hair. You ironed it. Not the mini skirt, your hair. To get it to look like that.
We're laughing now, but those were tough days for you.
Sure. They were tough in that any young woman wanting to start out in a business that is primarily male-dominated, it has a hard time. And it looks like it was fun now and it all went by really, really rapidly. But in truth, when you're devastated by not being able to get a job and they give you reasons such as you happen to be female and there's not a lot you're going to or want to do about that, and you really don't see any reason why this is going to stand in your way, you figure you can be a reporter, you know, and they give you all kinds of other reasons. It's tough. It is tough. That has changed. The industry has changed in a very short time. We forget what it was like, and it was to answer some of the questions about what it was like that I wrote Anchorwoman, because there was a feeling among young women who were writing to me that what they wanted to do was be TV stars and make a fortune, and they didn't want to work. They didn't feel they had to work hard. So for all the people who wanted to be TV journalists, I wanted to set the record straight and show that there was really more to it than the definition I was given of an anchor woman by a little girl in Nebraska. And I said, did a story in a one-room schoolhouse, and the little girl said, She knew what an anchor woman was, and I said, what is it? And she says, that's when you get all dressed up and you get paid a lot of money to read all them words right on the television. And I wanted them to know there's a little more to it than that.
I always liked the one, Tom Brokaw, I think it was, who was talking about his children once, and they were in school, and they asked what your father does for a living, and he said, he puts makeup on his face and reads out loud. It left people a little strange.
That's right. I
Can
think
you
it's true.
trace the source of your motivation, what gave you the perseverance? I, in reading the book, think I can, and I'm not sure if it's even close to being accurate, but I think your father dying at such a young age, for him and for you, somehow put burdens on you that would give you that drive.
Usually that is true. At any time you're an eldest child, particularly where there are only girls in the family and your father dies at an early age, you kind of take on a role of more achievement orientation. But more than that, my father, when he was alive, and my mother taught me that if you wanted to do something and you felt you could do it, then you should go try to do it. And I found something I really liked doing, and I thought, this is what I want to do, and found the answer, you can't do it, unacceptable, because I couldn't see any logical reason. The more people told me I couldn't do it, the more I wanted, because I thought, this must really need to do it.
You mentioned how far we've come, we being women in television, and certainly we have come an awful long way. That is evident by the fact that I'm sitting here and you're sitting here. But when I look at the network news at 6 o'clock, 6:30 rather, in Rochester, have we come all that far?
No. We have come far to a point, and the point is prime time, but beyond prime time. The point is in the executive suites. Who decides who is hired for television? Who decides what you will see on television? The answer to that is high-level television executives. How many of them are females or other minorities? Not many. So we have come very far and are about to enter the upper echelon of the power structure in this industry and others. We have that far to go.
I know you can't discuss specific negotiations now, but in a general sense, I'm wondering if we can elaborate on that last point, because I don't think people often realize how much power lies within a few people to determine who appears on the air and what they do.
Sure. And there are maybe, 4 or 5 people making a decision as to what kind of programming will be seen. And they get input from consultants, or they get input from their own research departments. But basically, when it all comes down to the decision, it's a very small group of people making that decision.
Can we talk a little bit about the myths of women reporters, women broadcasters? Because when I read in the book the myths that you had chronicled, I said, my goodness, I've heard those same myths. And even if I hadn't heard them voiced, I kind of felt them from men I used to work with. Or
the myths. You mean women's voices are not authoritative?
Exactly.
Women don't want to watch other women on TV.
Exactly.
Women's voices aren't authoritative. That meant that if Don Alhart said, good morning, we're here live at this moment, you'd say, okay, great. And if I said that, you'd say, I don't believe that. How does she know where she is? Women's voices are not authoritative. They can't be charged with the responsibility of saying where the broadcast is coming from. And the other one, that women didn't want to watch other women on TV. How did we know that? How many of them had they seen? That was very interesting. So those are myths. The new myth is about getting old.
Right, that you can't do it if you're a woman.
Women can't get old on TV. And the answer to that is, how do we know that? And I'm always given, well, gee, where's Pauline Frederick? The answer to that, I think, although I have no way of knowing, the answer to that is, how many key assignments did she have? Was she on with frequency, predictability, to engender viewer loyalty? No. Maybe if she'd been given the same opportunities as the men who entered the field at the same time she did, maybe she would have stayed here. So the answer to can we get old on television is the old TV cliche. Stay tuned.
Do you think we will get past the point of looking more critically at women in broadcasting than we do? You pointed out in your book, and I made the statement here, a very similar statement. I could wear this suit, and I do wear it at least once a week with the same tie and the same shirt. And if Wanda wears that dress every week or 2 days, they're going to be looking more critically.
Don, actually, let me just mention this. I got a letter, too, last week from a gentleman about not my dress, but My eyebrows, he said. You know, I'm saying my eyebrows. He's watching me that closely.
Right.
My eyebrows,
Right.
he said, need to be fuller.
Right.
I couldn't believe that.
This man is obviously listening to whatever Wanda had to say, right?
But you get that too.
Sure, we all do. That's not broadcasting, Don. That's society. If you and somebody else are going out to dinner at night, not going to work, you can wear a suit and the same blue suit you've worn all year long. But if you're female, you can't. If you're female, you have to get ready, and it takes you longer. That's not broadcast. Broadcast is a true mirror of society, and that's what society is about. Until society gets through placing an emphasis on looks for women, broadcasting is just going to follow suit.
Well, I know you are often asked this because I'm asked too. How important are looks for what you do, you and I do?
Or what he does. How important?
Okay.
I want to ask you, what do you think? How important?
I hesitate because I'm going to sound chauvinistic or something here, but I don't think it matters as much for a man. I think an ugly man has a better chance of being on television than an ugly woman. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but a woman, I think, if she's too attractive, then that becomes a distraction.
That's a distraction.
If she's not attractive enough, somehow it seems to be, and again, I'm not making a judgment, but society is placed an emphasis on someone who is attractive but not too distracting.
Well, you've had to live through that, being pretty and being taken seriously.
You do that. Age has taken care of a lot of that, however. I think that with regard to television, television is a visual industry. I mean, that's for the phenomenal grasp for the obvious there. It's visual. And how you look is part. It's not the major part, but it's just a part.
Okay, we're going to take a short break right now. When we return, we'll continue our discussion, also open up our telephone lines and talk to some people here at Marketplace Mall.
All that coming up next. Please don't go away.
Bryant and Stratton, the Job Connection.
After working in industry and being laid off, I decided to go to Bryant and Stratton to learn the skills that would make me more employable. I received my associate degree in computer programming in just 18 months. And thanks to Bryant and Stratton's hands-on training and placement service, I am now a computer accounting specialist here at the Gauthier Corporation. A job with a real future.
Call Bryant and Stratton today. Classes start July 5th. Financial aid's available and it's not too late to apply.
Buy now on Hill TV's revolving charge with no payments required for 6 months.
I'm Linda Hill, and you did hear that right. You can buy any Whirlpool or Litton appliance, RCA or Zenith Color TV, projection TV, video disc player, or Fisher stereo with no down payment, no interest or finance charge, no payment of any kind if paid by January 4th, 1984. Only at Hill TV, home of the 5-year worry-free warranty.
Fresh and frosty, take it and go. Rich and soft serve. Fresh and frosty, take it and go. Rich and soft serve. Smooth and creamy, it's nice and dreamy. Lunch it, snack it, spoon it, pack it, take it and go. Tasty and neat, it's a real good treat. Vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate, ooh, very. When you're cold or hot, you'll like it a lot.
Now in your grocer's freezer or ice cream case.
Rich is fresh and frosty.
Take it and go.
Idland Carpet and Milliken Corporation. Those names stand for fabulous styling and unbelievable values. Idland Carpet always guarantees Rochester's lowest prices on brand name floor coverings. However, this month, if you buy 30 yards or more of Milliken Carpet, you get an area rug worth up to $600 free. Or you can buy the Milliken area rug of your choice and get a second one free. This is not a gimmick. No other carpet store in Rochester can make these unbelievable offers. Only Idland Carpet, 382 Jefferson Road.
We've got a lot of mouths to feed. So to save money, we count on these value products from Scott.
Scott Towels, 119 sheets, more than other quality brands. It absorbs fast and costs less to save money.
Scott Tissue, 1,000 sheets.
Lasts longer than other leading brands to save money.
And money-saving Scott Economy Pack napkins. 300 per pack. Stronger than others. Count on these value products from Scott. Where saving money runs in the family.
We're back. Our conversation continues. We'll be talking to some people here at Marketplace Mall in a moment. Right now, we've opened up our phone lines and we take our first caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, Jessica.
Hello. Hello.
How are you this morning?
Fine, thank you.
I just wanted to let you know that you've been my cream bee from the beginning.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I've watched Frontline twice a week, and I was very interested in your last Frontline because I am disabled, and I've been a victim of Reaganomics, and they cut my Social Security checks also. My question is, every movement of my minority group starts with a stigma, a label. And you were called broad, the blacks were called niggers, and now the media seems to be calling disabled cripples. What can we do to sensitize the media and make it verboten for them to say that?
You have a great say in what we say, and I think that if you would write to every one of those people you hear calling disabled people cripples, then I think that it may change something. So I would suggest you exercise your option to be a reactionary viewer and listener and do that.
Thank you very much, and I really wish that your program was opposite 60 Minutes because you give them a run for their money.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for your call. Wanda's down in the audience now with a question.
Jessica, we have two people here who just want to say good morning and hello. They are Frank and Sally Wheat.
Oh, yes, of course. Hi. That's Jeff's mother and father. I saw Nancy at the store yesterday, in fact. Like this point-to-point broadcasting, isn't this great? Tell them hi for me, okay?
Okay, we do have a question for you. Would you like to stand, please? You are?
Jay Hardesty.
Hi, Jay.
Ms. Savitch, if you had the opportunity to cover any event in news history, what event would that be that has passed, and why would you want to cover that?
Two things come to mind. One would have been, I would have liked to have been a reporter who was around in the South so that I could have taken a part in covering the whole war against discrimination, whole discrimination issue, segregation in the South. I would have liked to have covered that because I read a book recently and talked about the reporting that was done prior to that, and reporters would sit around for years saying, gee, there were no stories while segregation was going on in the South. I would have liked to have covered that. And before that, because I'm a student of two other periods of history, the Civil War and the Napoleon's Russian campaign, I think those would be the other two.
Thank you.
I know that's probably an eclectic answer, but
We have another caller on the line. We say good morning. Go ahead.
Hello, Jessica.
Hi.
I read your book, and I must say that I was impressed with how hard you had to work, and I'm now impressed with your accomplishments. But I get the feeling from the book that there was a lot of things that were really difficult for you, and I don't think that they were expressed very well. I didn't get the impression.
What you're saying.
I didn't get the impression from the book that things were as difficult as you were making them out to be. You didn't give me that impression.
I didn't talk about it. I think what you're reacting to is this is not an autobiographical work. It is rather a journey of a career. And therefore, my personal feelings about things and my personal life remain that and will continue to personal. Thank you, though.
I get the feeling that you sort of hedge when you talk about other people. You don't like to make them look bad, or you don't like to be as honest as you possibly could.
If you mean be intrusive, there's a difference between honesty and intrusiveness, and where that I don't think it impacted on a career journey. I did not do personal critiques. Those are my own personal opinions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your call. And Wanda's back in the audience now with one of
Hi.
our regular
Good morning.
audience members here. Hi.
Good morning. Where are you from? And also, are you friends with Jane Pauley? There's a rumor out that she's expecting twins.
I know that she's pregnant. I don't know that she's expecting twins.
Oh, that was in the paper.
That was in the paper. Don't believe everything you read. How they know?
I don't know.
I certainly know all the women in the industry. We all work on different assignments, and so there is not a lot of time. Usually you see most of the people at the only time you see everybody's at conventions. And where I'm from, Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. And it's a little town, I'm sure you've heard of it. Everybody has. It's a little town in Chester County, which is near where Battle of the Brandywine was, and Wyeth Country and all of that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello. I would like to say hello to Jessica Savitch. I have admired her very much over the past months and years. and I am going to read the book when I get a chance. The question I have is about what you might think is a myth too, about women broadcasters maximizing or projecting their voices in order to sound more authoritative. Now, that has been my impression, and I have a Latin American husband who usually says, "Oh, this woman really sounds dominating," just by the voice quality. And I wonder whether women broadcasters have reacted to the myth that they are not authoritative and are trying to maximize and trying to correct for this, but thereby they give to some people an even more negative impression that they're not really feminine.
No, I don't necessarily. There may be some overreaction. I can only speak for my own voice, which has been, as you heard, about the same all of my life. And I sound the same on the air as I do off the air. I just try to speak a little more slowly when I'm on the air.
And that goes for men and women, I think, that we don't talk at home as precisely and
way.
Like this. When we talk to the children, there is a different style of projection that comes with broadcasting. Wanda?
You have another question. Good morning.
Good morning. Ms. Savitch, I have two questions, actually, a question that is twofold. One, what do you feel that you have given up to achieve your high position in the network? And two, in light of the fact that women haven't come that far in broadcasting, we're mostly poster board type stuff, what kind of advice can you give to young women who are either just getting into the business or want to get into the business?
The second part of the question first, advice to getting into the business. Don't. And then if you ignore me, then you'll probably make it. And I also would say news is what happens when you act, interact, and react. And so you don't necessarily need to study broadcasting, but you need to study human interaction, societal institutions, political machinations, that kind of thing. And then get experience, small market experience. I would also add, destroy all your old tapes so that you will never be on a show like this and have them played. And I'm sorry, I forgot the first part of the question was... the
first part of the question
what I've given up. Yes,
yeah.
That's it. Anytime you are doing well at something and you enjoy it, you do it a lot. And in doing something, everybody has 100% of their lifetime to give, and when you allocate 80% to your work, that leaves 20 for everything else. And so therefore, along the way, certainly, I have had to make trade-offs and choices. That does not mean that I haven't had opportunities for personal relationships and families and all of that. It just has to often be in sequence. There are blocks of time devoted to that and blocks of time devoted to work. This particular year has been very busy with a book on public broadcasting's new show and my NBC assignments. And in order to take on all of them, I went to family and friends and said, I want to do these things for this reason, these reasons. Will you support me? And everyone has. Now, obviously, I wouldn't do this another year, but it works in a system of trade-offs.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll take a short break right now and continue our conversation. More phone calls, more audience questions right after this.
If you have a weight problem, at the Weight Loss Clinic, we have the answer.
I'm down to 119 pounds now. I've lost 43 pounds, and I couldn't have done it without Weight Loss Clinic.
If you have a weight problem, we have the answer.
I lost 100 pounds at the Weight Loss Clinic. I feel fantastic. I could never have done it without their help.
We have the answer.
I've been trying to get my husband to lose weight since the day we were married.
We finally decided to go to Weight Loss Clinic together.
Harold lost 100 pounds, and I lost 55, and we're really glad we went.
At the Weight Loss Clinic, our nurses make the difference. They care. They give you the guidance and support you need to lose weight and keep it off. The Weight Loss Clinic. If you have a weight problem, we have the answer. Call us today for a free consultation.
There's a weight loss clinic near you. Call them today for a free consultation. They'll tell you exactly how much weight you need to lose and how fast you can do it. So call the Weight Loss Clinic now.
I smell Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper, please. Turn 4 down.
Yeah, I'll try Dr. Pepper.
You never tried Dr. Pepper?
No.
It's gonna be a home run. It's gonna be a grand slam. It's fantastic. It's terrific. What originality. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper. Your taste made a pepper out of me. He's a pepper. I'm a pepper. Dr.
On April 16th, fire struck and destroyed Bell's Supermarket in Goodman. The blaze caused huge billows of smoke that could be seen for miles. Goodman Furniture, next door to Bell's, had some furniture in one of their warehouses affected by the smoke. So while it lasts, Goodman has that furniture marked at fire sale prices, up to 75% off. That's right, for this fire sale, you save up to 75% on selected furniture for a limited time, first come, first served. Shop Goodman Plaza Discount Furniture, where the prices are always good, man.
It's time to take a morning break. Just relax and we'll try to make your day much brighter in the time it takes for you to take a morning break. Sip some coffee or a cup of tea. Sit down and watch us on the old TV. You'll feel much better in the time it takes for you to take a morning break.
At Wegmans, a half gallon of Seal Test ice cream is just $1.69 with coupon. At Wegmans Food and Drugs, every day you get our best.
Homerama 83, a showcase of 11 new model homes, completely furnished and landscaped in Pine Brook, Greece, English Road West off Long Pond Road. Don't miss Homerama 83.
It explodes with drama, style, and beauty. The Borinquen Dance Company. Saturday, June 25th, Xerox Auditorium.
Back now with Jessica Savitch. More phone calls and more people in our audience. Wanda is standing by with a young lady now.
Good morning. Who is this?
Karen Nelson.
Hi, Karen.
Hi. I have two questions. One, where do you get all your clothes? And two, do you make enough money to make your job worthwhile?
Wait a minute. Now, the second part I didn't hear.
Do you make enough money to make your job worthwhile?
Do I make
Make enough money to make your
do
job
I make enough money to
worthwhile?
make my job worthwhile? I don't put a monetary value on my job, but I make a nice living, yeah. And who buys my clothes?
When you're done with them. No.
When I'm done with them. In the clothing museum. No, a wardrobe person. I have a wardrobe lady who does, but this morning I did. As you can tell, it's a little disheveled. So that's where they come from. I use only American designers because I'm on American television, so that's where they come from.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have a caller on the line. Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm currently a communications major, and I have read your book. You always seem to know exactly what you wanted to do as in television broadcasting. I was wondering if you could give me a reason for your direction, because I'm teetering between public relations or broadcasting. I'm not sure what avenue to take, and I wonder why you were so directed.
I don't know why I was so sure. From the moment I saw a news show being done at the conventions in '64 in Atlantic City, and I was just in high school at the time, I decided that was what I wanted to do, like a bolt from the... I mean, I don't know why. I am fortunate that I knew that. I would say, find what your strengths are and play to those and decide which end of the industry you'd like to go into.
Okay, thank you very much for your call. Wanda.
Question comes from me. In reading the book, I was touched at a point when I was reading about many of the personal tragedies you've had to endure. My son was very sick this past November. He had spinal meningitis, and he was very sick. He had to be hospitalized for 10 days. And it was very difficult for me to maintain my job and to fulfill the illusion that people might have of us in this business. And you've had to go through some very difficult things as well. How do you do it? How do you put that in the area where it belongs to your personal life and still come on and be Jessica Savitch, the NBC anchorwoman?
I think that the answer to that is, in every job, everybody's life, there are personal tragedies. And the person who is a welder at a factory and has a death in the family has to make a living and has to go on. And he goes on. And so did I, and so do you, in the face of every tragedy. And you don't bring that to your job. Everybody has their own bag of bearable sorrows. So you put that in some other part, and for the time that you spend at your job, you give it your best shot.
But that welder isn't being watched by millions of people, and
There is that too, but you figure that everybody else did it and their tragedies were just the same as my own, so I figured if they did it, I could.
And sometimes too, I think in broadcasting, you have to appear as people are used to seeing you, so that by forcing yourself to appear a certain way,
exactly,
elevates your own mind
Yeah.
from it too. It keeps you from staying down when others might.
Because it gives you a reason to go on too. That's true.
We have another caller on the line. Good morning. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, good morning, Jessica.
Hi.
My name is Leo, and the question I have is what types of qualifications or credentials do scientific editors or journalists possess, such as Jules Bergman on ABC? What kind of, are they journalists first, or scientists, or physicians first, or what?
As in every field, we are specializing now. I have political background, took political science in graduate school, and so I'm a political reporter. Most of the people who are science correspondents have science courses, or they go back and they get them. Carl Stern, who reports for us from the Justice Department, is an attorney. So you either do it one or the other. You learn your journalism skills and then develop a specialty, or you have a specialty and then learn to be a journalist.
Okay. Are these people who go back and specialize, do they get another degree such as a master's or a PhD or anything like that? Or if someone like myself who has a master's in a biomedical science and I wish to move into communication, do I just go back to school taking communication coursework, etc.?
You can do that, or you can learn at a small radio station somewhere and do reporting that way. But either way, you're going to have to get broadcast experience before you apply your skill.
Okay, thank you very much for your call. Wanda, back to the audience now.
Good morning. Yes, I was wondering what your typical day is like. I know you're on Monday on PBS and Saturday on NBC. What do you work the other days too?
Yes, every other day, all the days of the week. I work doing NBC news capsules at night. There are two-minute newscasts, also writing and commentary on the radio network, and then Frontline has to be written and done on my one day that I would have off, which is Sunday. And I also travel some of those days to do the stories. So this year has been a 7-day-a-week job. I will work tonight on NBC. I will be on the air tonight.
Thank you for your question.
The plane makes it.
We'll take a short break right now, and when we return, we will have some news from our newsroom, and then with an official farewell to Jessica and thank her for being here. We'll be right back after this.
Guess who just beat Maxwell House Instant Coffee for best taste? Surprise! It's Sunrise. Sunrise beat the leading instant coffee for richer, fresher flavor. Surprise! Even more surprising, Sunrise is naturally less in caffeine, 26% less. Surprise! Sunrise, the taste that beat the #1 instant coffee.
Surprise! Surprise yourself with Sunrise.
Suddenly you're feeling good about your future. Continental School of Beauty Culture helps you to gain more than a skill. You learn a profession. A report on recent graduates of Continental since 1979 shows that 96% are currently employed in beauty culture or related fields. That's success. New classes start the first of each month, day or evening. And if you qualify, you could learn free. So call for an appointment today. Continental School of Beauty Culture, 49 Stone Street. We make working professionals.
Sports Coach, the motor coach that exists for luxury alone. Come and see Sports Coach for yourself during Camperama's Sports Coach Open House now through July 2nd. See this grand touring vehicle, big enough to contain lavish living quarters but definitely meant to be driven. Celebrate with Camperama, this newest member of the Camperama family of America's top brand names, and toast this culmination of the designer's art with wine and cheese. Camperama's Sports Coach Open House, now at Rochester's leading RV dealer, 3875 West Henrietta Road.
An outstanding dealership must do more than just sell you a car for less. It must have the experienced personnel with current technical knowledge to service your car. Bill Holtz, president of Lou Holtz Buick, is pleased to announce 6 winners of the prestigious Buick Enrolled Service Technical Award. This award is presented to service technicians who achieved 100% on 4 separate exams during the past year. Another reason why you should buy your next Buick from Lou Holtz Buick, with the lowest price and the best service department in the area.
I remember days gone by.
Special memories require special care. So trust your film developing to the experts at Carhartt Photo. where they use Kodak paper for a good look. And develop your film by the next day, or it's free. Carhartt Photo and Carhartt Picture Island stores, a name you can trust to develop pictures you can be proud of.
Okay, we are back. We thought it might be good if we can widen out just a bit, and we'll greet Ann Rogers in a moment, too. We've talked about it earlier, but let Jessica introduce our news for us.
And now, Jim Hooley with the news and weather update.
Thank you, Jessica. The sirens have sounded, but this is only a drill. That's the word from Rochester Gas and Electric this morning. The emergency response plan for the Ginna nuclear power plant is being tested today. Federal, state, and local officials will see just how well RG&E handles the event. The drill began at 8 this morning when a simulated accident took place at the plant. Will 13 Penfield High School seniors be allowed to graduate on stage this weekend? Last night, the Penfield Board of Education went into an executive session to discuss that matter. Some residents have asked that the boys be allowed to participate in graduation despite their guilty plea to vandalism charges.
To break into someone else's property, whether it is your home or the school, and to damage someone's property and possessions, it is wrong, and our board went on record as saying that.
The graduation ceremony is a way for the community to say, you did a terrible thing, and we're angry about it, but we receive you back into the community so that you can get your new start.
The Penfield Board banned the seniors from graduation after a 2-night vandalism spree last month. So far, the board has refused to disclose its decision. The Brighton School District has a new school budget today, but last night's vote was close. 1,373 residents said yes, 1,245 no. The new budget will hike the Brighton school tax by almost 7%. An earlier budget increase of almost 9% was rejected by voters. 12 positions will be eliminated in the new budget. The county legislature has tried once again to save the embattled plans for Metro Police. Last night, lawmakers sent a package of bills to Albany for approval. That should pave the way to putting the Metro plan on the November ballot. County lawmakers are now pretty much done with action on the plan. It's up to voters come November. And Locust Hill Country Club is a very, very busy place today. The LPGA's Pro-Am has begun. Local golfers are getting their chance to play with some of the best female duffers in the country, including Nancy Lopez, 4 months pregnant. All the women will be on hand tomorrow as the Rochester International LPGA Tournament gets into full swing. Great day for golf today. Sunny and hot, a high near 93. Tonight, clear with a low near 60, perhaps 65. Then mostly sunny and warm tomorrow. High again near 93. Presently 76 degrees. We have sunny skies in Rochester. Jessica, back to you.
Thank you very much, Jim.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here at the mall.
Stay with us.
Through Saturday, another big Phase 25th of the month anniversary sale. Win a 10-speed racing bike at Phase. And win with savings when you buy 2 liters of your favorite Pepsi, your choice, only 87 cents. And save with a big 10-pound bag of Phase brand charcoal, now only $1.44. And 9 ounces of Colgate toothpaste, now only $1.37.
Phase, not your average drugstore.
Every day is party time at Edge Warehouse, your one-stop store for all the party supplies you'll ever need. Look over the rainbow selection of paper goods and table accessories. See the kids' corner and graduation decorations, too. Find all the perfect trimmings for showers and weddings at the bride's corner, and a selection of engraved wedding invitations as well. Liven up your party by renting a hot dog, cotton candy, or popcorn machine from Edge Warehouse, 62nd or Drive off Jefferson at the main post office, just for the fun of it.
Gold Seal is recognized as one of the most dynamic wineries in New York State, and now they have the largest acreage of vinifera in the East. You can experience Gold Seal, its tradition and future now. Gold Seal has guided tours and tasting daily, free to the public. And you don't just sample fine wines for free like other wineries. You learn why certain wines are superior and why champagne is the most exotic of wines. All at the Gold Seal Winery Tour on Route 54A in Hammondsport, New York.
The strawberries are red, ripe, and ready to pick at Kirby's Farm Market. Now you can pick your own and save just 55 cents a pound. At Kirby's, the strawberries grow big and delicious because Kirby's new fields are irrigated and kept clean for easy picking. Bring your own containers or buy them from Kirby's, but don't let the strawberry season pass you by. Pick your own strawberries and save just 55 cents a pound at Kirby's Farm Market, 3 miles west of Clarkson on 104 West. Call 637-2600.
Ladies and gentlemen, come to the greatest tent sale in Marple Furniture's history right here in Hilton now through Saturday. We filled our tents with values. Save 30 to 70% on brand name furniture. All remnants 50% off. Queen mattress sets only $199. Upholstered chairs from $77. Over $1 million in inventory is reduced 30 to 70%. Shop the furniture sale of the summer now through Saturday. Rain or shine at Marple Furniture in Hilton. Sale ends Saturday.
So much to say in our concluding moments, and only about a minute to wrap everything up. Ann Rogers has joined us. We want to say hello to you.
Ann gave me a job. One of the first to give me a job.
She came to town, and she was truly one of the few young women who ever came into the advertising business to do commercials, who ever really stayed with it and had such a successful, wonderful career. Most
Ann
young
used to
women.
meet the bus.
I used to meet the bus, pick her up,
from Ithaca.
and we'd bring her in, and we'd do the commercials, put her back on the bus again.
So I could get straight A's.
So you could get straight A's. So it's kind of like being a mother at that point, right, Jessie?
Great. They were great early commercials. Ann was one of the role models that I had because she was in the business when she was a child.
In the time remaining, Jessica, your future negotiations at NBC, are we going to see a lot of you still?
I will be with the network.
Somewhere, sometime.
Don't know where.
I will be with the network, yes.
Okay. Thank you for being here, and thanks for joining us. Thank you all for watching this morning. We'll see you tomorrow for another
Guest
Morning
services
Break.
provided by Oakley's American Restaurant, Marketplace Mall.
Must seem like years ago.
They always say no. It's their favorite word. No.